Hello, everybody, and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sport. And some breaking news out of the South African rugby scene. The Sharks have sacked Sean Everitt after they lost against Cardiff last night. Well, technically it says he stepped down, but I mean, you read the press release, you see the results, you saw the statement yesterday coming from Everitt. He's been sacked. I think that's is just the reality of it. But big news for the Sharks. I'm very interested to see whether this galvanizes the team or whether kind of there's a bit of a mid-season wobble given the uncertainty of what is going on. But at the end of the day, I think change had to be made. Now, before we sort of go into exactly what the press release had to say and sort of what will happen for the rest of the season, please do smash like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. This is what the press release says. Sean Everitt steps down as head coach. The Sharks today announced that by mutual consent, the South Sea Sharks head coach, Sean Everitt, has stepped down from his role with immediate effect. Coetzee added, "We thank Sean for his invaluable contribution to the Sharks over the past few years, especially navigating through a challenging COVID-19 period. He will always remain part of the Sharks family. I'd like to take this opportunity to wish him and his family the very best moving forward. This decision has been made in the best interest of the team moving forward," said the Sharks CEO. Our Director of Rugby, Neil Powell, will oversee the remainder of the Vodacom Rugby Championship campaign, as well as our first foray into the Heineken Champions Cup, which kicks off on the 10th of December. Neil will be ably supported by the rest of our current senior coaching staff, which remains unchanged. He's been sacked. I think is probably is what you can really surmise. I mean, for mutual consent, basically just means that a coach has been called in and they said, "Listen, you've got to go, but we will allow you to step down. We will allow you to fall on your own sword and say that there's been mutual consent, but we're telling you that you're going." So, to call a spade, he has been let go. And Neil Powell will take over. Now, very interesting to see what that means. And I do wonder if there was a case of, I wonder if it'd be interesting what the vibe was, because Neil Powell was originally going to come in, in a much more minor role before they be made director of rugby. And we have seen lots of videos and stuff like that he's been quite heavily involved within training sessions, stuff like that. So very interesting to see the role that he will have now. Well, now he's the coach, and whether this was maybe like the long term, they sat there thinking, well, maybe he will end up becoming a little bit like Rassie Erasmus, who's the director of rugby in inverted commas, but does a lot of the coaching as well. And I think it's a good move, and very interested to see how Neil Powell does now on the 15 circuit. And I think that he'll have the rest of the season to show progress. And I think if he does do well, if he does show promise, I don't think they'll replace him. I think they'll keep him there as well. The rest of the press release is all about what he had done. For example, and he was somebody that came out of the Sharks ranked. He's a junior, senior coach and stuff like that. Sean Everitt said, "This is a sad development for me, and sometimes the results don't always match the tireless effort that has been put in. I've been part of this union for close on 15 years, and I've always had the best interest of the team at heart. I leave with no regrets. I'd like to thank the Sharks for the great memories and the wonderful opportunities that has been given to me at the helm of this fantastic team. I wish the Sharks every success as the season progresses." Even that, sad development for me. He's been told he has to go, and I think he did have to go. I think that heads had to roll, and whilst their season's very much not unsalvageable, you look at how they play, you look at the players they've got, and there's just something that's not clicking. And unfortunately, the buck stops with the coach at the end of the day. When you've got the players, you've got facilities, you've got the infrastructure, you've got everything going for you, and you're not putting it together on the pitch, it has to be the coach. We see this in football all the time. The coach is where the buck stops, because that's an easy fix. You can't just build an entirely new squad. And also, you look at that squad; it's too good of a squad to be underperforming. It's a world-class squad, even without the current Springboks on display. They've literally got a squad yesterday. I mean, there was a plethora of internationally capped players across that Shark side, some top youngsters, and they're still not really coming off. They're still not playing at the highest of levels. So the only way you can change that is you take the person up the top. And it's interesting because we don't often see mid-season sackings and movements within rugby. And I do think that we are seeing in the last couple of years a move towards more professionalism in the rugby, in the a sense of for example, like in the football sphere. And now we are seeing mid-season sackings. We're seeing big buys. We're seeing lots of big money be put in, which is quite cool to see that it's becoming a bit more professional from that regard. And interesting to see how this keeps developing. So a very big decision by the Sharks. Now I want to know down in the comments below: are you happy with Neil Powell? Who would you like to see at the helm of the Sharks? What do they do? Please do smash like on the video on the way out, as well as subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steven. I'll chat to you soon.